Hey guys, got Adam here and John behind the camera there with the Wilderness Perspective today. We're out on a weekend trip for John's birthday, so happy late birthday, John. But we wanted to do a quick review of this 12-piece camping tool set and fold-up saw that we got at Walmart from Ozark Trail brand. The 12-piece kit here run us about $28 or so. I think it was $26.84, something like that. And the fold-up saw was roughly $10. So the two things together are, you know, about $40 after tax. So we wanted to review them, see how they worked, and just kind of get an idea of if $40 was worth all this that we got. All right, so you're going to get to unbox it with us. I mean, there's a little bit of sticker already come loose where we've had it for so long, but we have not opened this up yet. We've been waiting for the perfect opportunity, so let's get into it. What do you want to look at first, John?
Start with the knives, I guess.
Machete out here. If we can get it out safely. Don't need another mishap. So looking at the blade here, it is kind of angled inward, curved inward on both sides of the blade. Feels like it's already got a pretty good edge on it. The back to be used for sawing. We'll test that out and see how well it does. I can't tell if it's full tang or not. I honestly don't expect it to be. What do you think?
Probably not.
This brand, I don't think I'd expect it to be full tang, honestly. Yeah, so we're going to think probably not on the machete. It's pretty light. Actually, I like the handle. It fits my hand really well. What do you think about the handle?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I think it's got a nice feel to it, nice grip.
If your hand got really wet, it wouldn't.
Yeah, that might be an issue. Yeah, so you can add in your own lanyard, which the kit comes with its own paracord that you can make a homemade string for it with. I believe that's $5.50 paracord. Seems like I read somewhere that it was $5.50.
We can cut a piece off, see how many strands are inside.
It just says 50-foot utility cord here on the back. But yeah, it would be a good thing to do anyways, I think. So you want to test the sharpness of the pocket knife on that. So there's your knife, which the knife is full tang, but the only handle that you got is the paracord here. So some people may find that comfortable, some people may not. I think it feels okay, but it's a little bit, I don't know, a little strange. It feels a little constricted, I think, because of the knot here at the bottom of the handle. It's just barely fitting in my hand here. So to me, this knife feels a little funny in my hand. John's checking for the fishing line.
There's 7.
So there's 7 nylon, I think, nylon strands. But we don't believe it's got that plastic middle that you get in a normal paracord that you can use for fishing.
This knife has like oil on it.
That cut pretty clean. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Yeah, there's definitely no plastic fishing line in the middle of that. So that's a bummer, but this paracord's always useful for something. I don't like the way it felt. Did you? Something, I think the knot on the handle and the the guard piece up on your index finger. There's not enough space or something, I don't think.
It's covered in like some kind of...
I assume the oil's probably to stop rusting, I would assume.
Is it on anything else?
It was on this one a little bit. Yeah, it smells like a motor oil, or yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't like the knife.
Yeah, it don't feel right to me. See, try chopping a piece of that again. Where'd it go?
It's rated, so you really can't use the belly to cut, which is kind of dangerous to me, in my opinion. Struggled a little bit.
Mm-hmm. One thing I noticed about the machete is it seemed to be top heavy. How does the knife feel? Is it balanced? Ooh.
It really doesn't feel either way. It's really light, but
You cut pretty clean too. If you can see the tip here, it comes to a pretty sharp point, so it's tapered on the top and the bottom on both sides, so it really comes to a point. All in all, I'm not really impressed with the knife, but I do like the machete. Axe. The axe is nice and thin, streamlined. It's got an edge on it already. One thing that I noticed that I wasn't impressed about is it's not thick on the back here like a normal machete, a normal axe. So you can't really use it to beat stakes into the ground as well. You could, but it is going to be a little more difficult. It's got these hex bolt, so it'd be a wrench as well. So it might be good for use like maybe in a car, in like a survival kit that you leave in your vehicle, where you may break down and need to sharpen it in an emergency, or not sharpen but tighten something in an emergency potentially. But otherwise I don't really know what you would use the hex keys for in the wild.
To me it's just a structural point where I feel like it's going to fail right there somehow.
It could, yeah. I mean, a crack.
Because right here they took a lot out right there.
There's a lot of metal out. It's going to make it more light that way, but like John said, I think it's going to cause some structural issues. Let's see if it'll fit. I can't reach it from my GoPro, so I don't know if it can tighten my GoPro or not. There's a bolt on the side that it might be able to tighten, but it's got more paracord on the handle here again. So if you wanted to go out with just one of these items, the machete's not going to have any paracord with you for an emergency, but the knife and the axe are going to have extra paracord for you if you didn't want to carry all the utility cord with you. So that might be a good option. Let's do a chop test on this one too. Take out the plastic pieces here. All right, John, here we go. So it is not chopping as well as that machete and knife did even. It's not going all the way through. I mean, it's going through enough on the cord. But we'll test it on some wood here in a minute. Actual wood.
They do give you a good choke point. So if you need to do finer cuts, you can.
Yeah, that's a good point. Shaving wood down or something.
It kind of stabs your hand if you touch it up here. It just cuts into it.
Now I think the handle on that one feels much better than the knife. I'm still kind of weird about the... There you go.
Just gotta get it in the belly of it.
I'm still kind of weird about the paracord handle as it is. I don't think it feels as great as a rubber handle or something like that. But this one definitely has more room, I would say. What do you think? Okay, John's got the sheaths over there.
They're your standard crappy sheaths that come with stuff. The axe has a slot for the sharpening stone, and it's sheathed. Put the knife in and see if it comes out with it.
So I just pulled that out of the knife sheath. Maybe a good thing, maybe not. Probably not. But you can kind of see how it works. It comes to a point right here to tighten down on that knife to hold it in just a little bit. Not very well.
Put the knife in there with the sheath, see if that comes out with it. I have a feeling it
So
will.
got the knife in there. Comes out pretty easy. It's not, you can feel it's not being held in very well. So let's put the Velcro over top of it. Still not really going anywhere. Pulling pretty hard now. Not going anywhere. It'd have to really get caught on something.
Crappy belt loop.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The belt loop on this one is just barely kind of threaded on down here on the bottom.
This one would, they should have put it the other way.
Oh yeah,
Because
that'd be weird, wouldn't it? But that might work on like on your back or something, maybe.
maybe.
Which that would be, it might be awkward to kind of pull it out too.
Yeah.
That is a little strange. So the belt loop on the axe is strange. I kind of like the case for the knife. That's kind of nice.
This machete sheath is tight.
Go ahead.
We have trouble putting that in.
Now it doesn't have a plastic, does it? It's just the fabric.
The saw catches. We'll definitely wear that down eventually.
Oh yeah.
But
that's got room for definitely the sharpener.
I don't think that stone will fit in here.
You don't think so? Is that one, far one? Does that have a hole in the bottom? That comes at the bottom. This thing
It doesn't, but I don't. Yeah,
that one fit there. Oh yeah. So that would fit in that one pretty well, or this one. I don't think it matters which one, honestly. The other one, I don't see anything in the kit that was designed to go in it, because that flashlight is not going to fit. So I guess you could just put in something else that you might have personally. I don't know, what could you put in there? Put a pair of fingernail clippers in there if you're going to be clipping wires or lines. Maybe a screwdriver or something like that if you use that. I don't know, it's hard to tell what you could fit in there.
And this is a skinny pocket knife too, so it definitely have to be.
Maybe it would be good to buy maybe a second rod to carry 2 rods with you.
It's magnesium and flint.
Let's see.
It just says fire.
It just says fire starter, so don't know if that's a ferro rod or magnesium.
I think it's a combination. Look, 2 separate ones.
I see. Yeah.
So that's probably the ferro rod.
Got the Carabiners in here. How do you say it?
Carabiners.
Carabiner.
Were they weighted?
Actually, Carabiners. How I said it to Amber yesterday, my wife, and she said it's wrong to say Carabiner, and everybody else in the room said Carabiner like I did. I don't know why. I just switched it up just now. As always, you know, not for climbing. Wrote on it.
60 pounds.
60-pound test.
I
so.
doubt that.
It does feel pretty flimsy. But maybe, I mean, definitely, I think together you'd get the 60 pounds out of it if you're using them both, I would think. And that leaves the flashlight. Here, you do the flashlight.
Let's see.
It's got batteries here, pictured on the back, but that doesn't mean that they're in there.
It's heavy, so yeah, they're
Plastic
in there.
piece. Okay, so that you're not going to run out of juice just sitting in the package.
That's definitely showing. Is that showing double A's?
No, they're triple A's. Oh, strobe light. Pull out maybe.
Yep. I mean, it's not
That's
bad.
not. We'll test that out more tonight when it gets dark. I like the strobe light. That's pretty cool for most of my, basic pocket flashlights don't have a strobe light.
So it's bright. Wait, bright.
Dim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strobe. I mean, you could use this little piece as a red light attachment.
Possibly. That lens is not flat either. That's interesting. Most of my flashlights are off. I'm not big on flashlights. Oops. I don't know what you might use it for. I don't know, what would you use a red light for? You can see certain kind of bugs and stuff better, can't you, with that, like eyes?
It helps your eyes at night because a white light will. It's harder to see. It takes longer for your eyes to adjust. That's probably just what they put in there to keep the batteries from shorting.
Probably, but I think maybe you could use that potentially. It feels pretty strong when I'm pulling it out. It's got, some hold behind it, so maybe it'll last a good while. I think the rounded lens is pretty cool. What's the deal with? Okay, they just took the lens off right there. Careful with it.
I wonder.
Oh, that's really bright.
You could use it as a magnifier.
You can, so yeah. May even be able to use that as another fire starter. So yeah, John's got a pretty concentrated beam over there from the sunlight, so there's a possibility you can use the lens of this flashlight as a magnifying glass to start a fire. That is pretty cool.
Keep talking. It's gonna take a while.
Now, I'm not I don't buy flashlights very often, but I know you've bought several in the past. How would you say that this compares with, paying, let's say, $10 for a flashlight? You think this is worth $10? We don't know the brightness quite yet, but as far as like the other features,
I would say 5 to 10, maybe.
fair enough. I would, I am a cheapskate, honestly, and I don't like to pay a lot of money for things, and I would pay $5 to $10 for this flashlight alone, honestly.
Yep.
Got hot, so yeah.
I'll do it.
Cool deal. Okay, that just leaves. We need to test the striker.
It says it has a beam distance of 60 meters and a run time of 2 hours.
180 lumens, not too bright though, is it?
That's decent. No, it's high low flash. Yeah, we found that.
Okay. All right, so here in the rod, I don't know if you can see it. There's two separate materials. You got this skinny rod here and a larger rod on the outside. We're thinking that one is a magnesium and the other is the ferro rod that is going to cause the spark. So let's try the skinny one first, see what happens.
Try the back of the knife. It may be sharp enough.
This way?
Yep. You'll have to scrape some of that, yep.
Okay, so that is definitely sparking.
You have to scrape that black coating off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is magnesium. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Come on, get it.
Oh.
Total fail.
You got a little bit of it. You just need a bigger pile.
There it went. Saw it catch. With the way that I use fire sticks, this isn't going to last me very long. There's not much actual fire starting stick there. A lot of magnesium. John, you want to give it a shot?
Yeah, I'll try it.
So he's scraping the magnesium right now. Oh, he got it. Look at him. Now, of course, that would have been much better if he had a lot more burning material there, but he definitely got it started in just a few little strokes.
Look at that rod.
No.
Yeah, got most of it. Yeah, that rod's not gonna last.
Yeah, it won't last long at all.
It's already got a huge divot in it.
Mostly my fault. But maybe once you start going here, you'll start cutting off the magnesium and the ferro rod at the same time, and maybe that'll be a good combination. I'm not real sure. But at the very least, if you don't have magnesium with you,
What if you strike with the X?
then you know that in addition to your other fire starter, you'll have extra magnesium. Yep. So the axe works. We're going to assume that the machete.
You may not be able to.
Well,
you could, but it'd be dangerous.
That saw goes down most of the length of the blade, so you're going to be using the blade more than likely.
Well, you got this little flat part right here.
A little bit. More difficult for sure. And I see what John means about that saw on the case of the machete. It's definitely...
The knife has a pocket. You won't lose it.
Got it in there, huh? There we go. Got it all the way down in there. So, there you go. You got that pocket on that too. Alright. So I think that's everything out of that set. So, personally, Adam over here, impressed. Not impressed. The axe, I'm gonna have to say right in the middle. I like the lightweightness. I like how the handle feels on that one. The case really messes with your belt loops though. Personally, I'm impressed with the light. I always like to have a good bunch of paracord. I'm not impressed with the firestarter. And the Carabiners, I've never had to use these other than just attaching to my book bag for stuff, but those are always nice. John, anything that you're particularly impressed with in this kit or not impressed with?
It's a good starter set, I would say, to get more used to it and not needing all this in the woods. Because usually what I carry is just this. I don't have my fire still. It broke in that last video we did about the fire challenge. But that's usually what I just carry.
That's a nice little EDC carry too, isn't it? Or EDC carry. EDC
Yep.
knife. But will this fire still fit down in that?
Barely.
Barely, so it wouldn't even, it'd probably fall out pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with John. I think this is a good starter kit. I mean, for 30 bucks, you can't really beat it. If you're going to go get a good knife online, you're going to spend anywhere between $50 and probably $200 for a good knife to use in the wild. This is good, for little things, I would imagine. I mean, the sharp point, you're going to be able to stab things, of course. The serrated edge, I'm not a fan of serrated edges. John, I don't think you are either, are you?
No.
But, in a pinch, I think it would do what you need it to do. If you're sitting around the campfire, you need to cut a steak up with it real quick, or you're just wanting to whittle on some sticks or whatnot, it's going to definitely do its job. And I do really like the case that it comes with. I like the pocket knife's case. In fact, if I don't use the knife, I may steal this case to use for one of my other knives. Axe, like we said, lightweight, but the belt loop is a little weird. The machete, I think, is what I'm most impressed with in this kit. You get you a machete at Walmart, you're probably looking at about, I don't know, yeah,
$30.
something like that. So, I mean, for the price of this kit, you got a decent machete alone. And, this is $5 alone if you get some of this and a A fire starter is usually about $10. So overall, I think you're saving a lot of money buying it in the kit, even if you're not going to use the entire kit. So let's move on quickly to the folding saw. John was actually the one who introduced me to the folding saws. And I think that they're a great idea once he sold me on the idea to be able to, you know, you could put this in your pocket if you really needed to, couldn't you? And walk out in the woods. But I mean, it'll fit down in a book bag pretty well. Let's see what it says here on the back. 7-inch saw blade, slip resistant handle, safety locking mechanism, easy to store and carry, great for camping. Well, we'll be the judge of that, won't we? So I told John I'd let him look at this bad boy first, because he's been wanting one of these for a while, I think.
Well, it's clear there's the unlock button. Probably after rough handling, the lock mechanism may come loose.
Yeah, it seems like it's a little iffy.
Handle feels good so far. Let's see. It's in there.
I feel like it locked pretty well. How balanced does it feel? Because I mean, you're going one-handed back and forth when you're going to be sawing something.
It's definitely front heavy, but it's not bad.
It's kind of what you want, though, isn't it? So that you can push down through the wood pretty well. I do like the grip. It's nice and grippy. So I guess this right here just tightens down the blade if it gets loose.
Yep. Or you could maybe replace them.
Okay. Looks like it's double. What do they call that? Double toothed.
Yep. I think it's push and pull blade.
Yeah, I think so. The machete saw blade is just kind of slightly, you know, back and, you know, angled to each side to saw through wood, but its teeth only look like they go one direction. I think it's pull. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if that would.
That,
they put these on to make them look cool.
Yeah, I don't know how usable it'll be. We can test it in a minute, though. We can saw on the same log and see how well we do.
You definitely have to get a big starting groove going.
I like this though. This is pretty neat. I can't wait to try it. I don't really have anything else to say about this one. Yeah, fits pretty well right down in my pocket if I wanted it to. And of course it's going to fit real well inside of a book bag.
Has a lanyard hole.
Yeah.
Definitely put one on before you cut, even though it says slip resistant. So you definitely don't want to slip onto this blade when you're cutting.
So you think having like just a small loop to go over your wrist while you're sawing at the same time?
Just to keep it locked into your
Just
hand.
for safety. Wouldn't be a bad idea. All right. Well, here after a while, we're going to get to actually testing some of this stuff here around camp, and we'll fill you guys in when we get to doing that. You want to start from a folded position, getting it out and everything. Okay, so we're going to do a side-by-side test, see who can get through the same, this is the same log, just two different parts of it. So you can get through it the quickest between the machete that come with the kit and the fold-out saw. So, John, on 3, you want to go?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. So just to showcase everything on your belt, you've got the axe on the left-hand side here. If you're left-handed, that's great. If you're a right-handed person, your handle's going to be pointing out this way. So axe works best on your left-hand side. You go down and unzip it, but look, it almost falls out. So this axe, it's just really not something that you need to depend on, and the sheath is terrible for it with the way that it's placed and everything. The machete, I got it set over here closer to the front. I like it pretty well. It comes out kind of rough, but I can get it back in pretty easily. John mentioned maybe having a strap around the bottom of it through here, through the case or something, and I think that would definitely help with pulling it out. The knife is a little weird if you're going to put it on the back here. What I would probably suggest is what John suggested to me, because he's so smart with this kind of stuff, is to have it on your left-hand side and just not even carry the axe whatsoever. So the knife on your left-hand side, the machete on your right-hand side, or vice versa. But having the knife in the back here is just a little strange. And I put my own knife inside of this rather than keeping the knife that was in it. And I had to cut down the sheath just a tad to have it to fit, but even so, the rubber handle is weird to get back in place here.